Uncontrolled heat can cause problems with our body regulation, but it can also heat up the blood and cause things like arthritis. And oftentimes these things will actually show up in changes of the tongue, where instead of the tongue being a nice pink color with a very, very thin coat, it gets actually really, really beefy red. And then the coating on top of it will thicken, and there'll be all sorts of problems with swelling and whatnot. And that leads to insomnia, it leads to systemic inflammation and irritability and fevers, breakdown in immunity, all sorts of problems. Behind all of this is actually the sun. Too hot to do anything during the day, and it's too hot to actually sleep at night. And so we really are becoming dysfunctional because of this heat coming from the exterior environment into ourselves and penetrating through the skin and into the deeper tissues of our body, making us feel a bit out of sorts. What's the antidote? And it's what I call the sigh, salivate, relax, arouse, kind of make love, get back connected to those around you. So there are certain sleep time activities that we need to undertake in order to beat this heat. And the first is spinal and muscle elongation. So one thing you can do is you can do some stretching before you go to bed. If you do that, then these other three activities will be kickstarted. It's pretty much only during your sleep that you get internal organ detoxification. So try to finish your food at least a couple of hours before going to bed, unless it's so hot out there that you can't even eat. And in that case, just have some melons in the late evening or even before bed. It will be hydrating. It will give you enough calories to get you through the night. Your body will begin to manufacture new tissues. And if it does that, the spillover energy will be a detoxification of your psycho-emotional input. You will now be able to detoxify and actually move from a detoxification into a healing response. Sleep activity allows for the transformation of human consciousness. You can keep your body cool by avoiding exposure to the sun, particularly in the hottest areas of the day. You can favor exercise that allows you to be in motion and sweat a little bit, because with sweat and wind, there's an evaporative cooling of the skin. It will cool you off, but only if you're doing it in shade. You know, having mists of water strike your skin is inherently very, very cooling. And in fact, even if you don't have a sprinkler and can't get the whole body wet, putting your feet into a water bath, whether it's iced or cold, is going to be cooler than your own body. These are very, very blood cooling foods that can be eaten, chilled, and be highly, highly nutritious. Melons, and how valuable consumption of melon is this time of the year, if you're caught in a heat wave, are chilled berry soups. Very, very rich in antioxidants. There's a little tiny bit of yogurt, like high protein yogurt. That's actually a very, very substantial meal. Things like a lentil salad with dandelion greens or other leafy greens with a tzatziki sauce. Tzatziki is a watered down yogurt sauce, usually flavored with dill. All very, very cooling to the blood. And boy, you could live on this for an entire heat wave. Cucumbers and mangoes are very, very important fruits. Here's the hot weather grocery list. And if you need recipes, then here's some simple hot weather recipe ideas that you can take a screenshot of also.